from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
It is not just a private family matter, it's a public health crisis.
Domestic violence is on the rise in Indiana. How the pandemic is worsening the issue and resources available right now.
A frightening situation for a driver on the interstate in the middle of the night. The object that plummeted from above that destroyed his windshield and what police told him.
2 inmates killed in the span of 7 days at the Marion County Jail. We're finding out what happened, why, and what's being done to protect those behind bars.
More rain is returning. We'll talk about how much to expect and how warm it will get later in the week.
Good evening and welcome in to the news at 6 here on WRTV. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. First tonight, as story advocates were fearful what happened. There's been a spike in domestic violence cases as the pandemic has kept people in unsafe homes. WRTV's Stephanie Wade speaks with a forensic nurse at Methodist Hospital about what they are seeing and resources available for people right now.
A startling statistic tonight. The Indiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence has reported the number of deaths related to domestic violence in our state has increased by 86% compared to this time last year. A rate forensic nurse Julie Morrison can attest to.
For me, just actually in the hospital, I still worry about the increase in violence. I mean, it's just kind of a pressure cooker right now. It really is.
A forensic nurse at IU Health Methodist Hospital, Morrison, like other advocates, were worried how the pandemic would impact ongoing domestic violence.
At the end of March with the stay-at-home, we knew something bad is going to happen because for people in abusive situations, at least they had that reprieve maybe when the abuser went to work.
As job loss, health concerns over the virus, kids at home and not in school, all colliding.
Kind of all the factors that worsen domestic violence or intimate partner violence, just exacerbated by this pandemic, those same kind of things, financial insecurity, losing jobs, and we knew this is going to be potentially bad with people being stuck at home together.
Whereas people were not coming to the hospital in the beginning of the pandemic.
At the end of March is when the stay-at-home orders started. We saw 46 assault patients. Looking back at 2019, we saw 71.
She says they are now coming in droves. Methodist seeing a significant spike in cases from last year and a large increase just since March alone.
For me and for Silent No More, it has been a drastic increase in calls and in services that are needed.
Nonprofits like Silent No More and emergency shelters are working double time to find people safe housing, but with limited resources, as shelters operate at limited capacity because of COVID.
It's been extremely tough, and as a survivor, I just don't I don't know how I would have been able to do it if I didn't have an organization who was open. 9 times out of 10, I probably would have stayed just because, the resources are so scarce.
As the need only increases and situations become more dire.
To those victims, try to keep them encouraged as much as possible. Know that there are survivors out here that are willing to walk with you and walk through that experience with you, so that way you're not alone.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
And we're going to put a list of resources anyone in need can contact right now on our website at WRTV.com. It was a wet and soggy day across central Indiana, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered after a long stretch without significant rain. A perfect evening to stay inside for humans, but these ducks spent their day just floating around in a local pond. They didn't even mind the wet weather. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is here tracking what's next for us, and those ducks too. Hey, Kev.
They're happy to have the water levels come back up. Certainly that's going to be the trend here as we have more rain in the forecast. This is the rain returning. More on that in a second. Let's flash back. These are 24-hour estimates of rainfall, and you can see over an inch in Greenwood, Avon 8/700ths, Fishers about 2/3 of an inch, Zionsville almost 6/10. There was more rain consistently to the south, between an inch and almost 2 inches in some spots. Lafayette only 1300ths. All right, that's in the past. We're moving forward. The rain that you see is coming close to Hendricks County now. It's going to cut through Rockville, Bainbridge, Greencastle, Cloverdale, and then move through Hendricks County and into the metro area. As far as additional rainfall, this is what we're looking at, and this isn't just from tonight. This will include rain tomorrow night into Wednesday, so an additional quarter to almost 3/4 of an inch of rain in some spots. We'll talk temperatures and more rain later in the week coming up.
A man got quite a scare over the weekend on the drive home from a haunted house, a situation that could have hurt him or worse. 20-year-old Caleb Needham says that he was driving on I-70 back to his Hendricks County home from a haunted house around 4 o'clock Sunday morning. He noticed the semi-truck in front of him swerve to avoid something as it went under an overpass. And when Needham got up to it, he saw that it was the insides of a pumpkin. When Needham got through the other end of the overpass, another pumpkin smashed through the passenger side of his Chevy Trailblazer, breaking the windshield. Needham had a few minor scratches from the broken glass. He said he pulled over, turned on his emergency flashers, and called police. And here's what an officer told Needham.
They said if it would have came through like the driver's side where I was sitting, that I probably would have died. Honestly, it just feels just like it was like a bad dream. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem real that it happened. Like I'm just so thankful like that it happened like the way it did, and like I didn't have anyone in the passenger seat. Like it came through the passenger seat and not the driver's side. Or like it wasn't like a family traveling back from like vacation and like the family loses one of their children or like their mother or father.
Needham says the Hendricks County deputies who responded said they've received a few calls lately of similar incidents happening where a pumpkin has been tossed from an overpass at passing cars. WRTV reached out to the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office for more information on the investigation and any recent incidents. Indiana State Police has only investigated one such incident this year, and that was Needham's.
An investigation is underway at the Marion County Jail after an inmate was found dead after being stabbed. It happened over the weekend, and this marks the second deadly inmate-on-inmate assault in a week. WRTV's Megan St. is working to learn more about these cases, why they are happening, and what is being done to protect other inmates.
Since October 10th, 2 different inmates lost their life while behind bars here at the Marion County Jail.
Things have gotten really bad.
This mother of a current inmate asked not to be identified, saying she fears for her son's safety, but she shared what he claims is going on inside.
Cell doors aren't being checked, routine checks aren't being made, rounds aren't being made by the guards to ensure safety.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office declined an interview today, saying there is still an active investigation underway for both deaths. A statement from them said in part, though it is a fact that sheriff's deputies and detention deputies are underpaid, overworked, and the MCSO is understaffed, we have not concluded that this is the cause for either of the deaths at this time. Here's what we do know about them, though. The first death happened October 10th. An inmate accused of child molestation is said to have been assaulted by another inmate. He was taken to the hospital and later died. It's unclear where in the jail the assault took place. The second death happening October 17th. Officials say a man being held on intimidation charges was stabbed to death by another inmate with an improvised weapon. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office tells us the victim had been using racially charged language toward fellow inmates and had been assigned to a single cell.
Anyone that has a loved one in there has to be feeling the same way. You just don't know what to do. You don't know how to help them or how to get this fixed. It's not our place to judge them. That's why they're in there to go to court. The jail needs to get this fixed. They need to get it fixed now before someone else gets killed.
Working for you, Megan St. WRTV.
And we will continue to work to get answers about how these deaths could have happened and what else is being done to protect inmates. We will also post the full statement from the Sheriff's Office today on our website at WRTV.com.
Democracy 2020, a little more than 2 weeks from Election Day, and people here in Indiana are voting early in big numbers. We got video this afternoon of a long line for early voting in Hancock County. Nearly 678,000 Hoosiers have voted early so far. This is according to numbers from the Secretary of State's office compiled by the U.S. Elections Project. A total number of votes cast so far is equal to more than 24% of the final presidential vote in Indiana in 2016. Early voting runs through November 2nd. Election Day is November 3rd. If you plan to vote by mail, you have until this Thursday, October 22nd, to turn in your application for an absentee ballot. At this point, you will probably want to turn in that application in person at your local elections office. Then when you get your absentee ballot, you must fill it out and send it back in. The deadline to get that ballot completed to your county elections office is on noon Election Day, November 3rd. The pandemic has changed the way the first debate between the three candidates for governor in Indiana will go. The one-hour debate will now be held in a virtual style tomorrow night. The Indiana Debate Commission announced that Governor Eric Holcomb, Democratic challenger Woody Myers, and Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater will each be in separate studios as a COVID-19 precaution. You can watch that debate at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at WRTV.com and on the WRTV Facebook page. You can also watch on the WRTV app on your streaming device such as Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV. The final presidential debate is this Thursday at 9 p.m. You can watch that right here on WRTV. This is the last time President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will face off on the same stage before Election Day. We've got everything you need to know about the election up on our website at WRTV.com. We go one-on-one with the candidates who will appear on your ballot. Plus, we have the dates and deadlines you need to make sure your vote counts. That's at WRTV.com/election2020.
We're learning more about new jobs opening up, so let's get to the Hiring Hoosiers job feed. Fukai Toyotetsu Indiana Corporation is a stamping and welding manufacturer in the Boone County community of Jamestown. They are hiring production team members who would likely work between 40 and 52 hours a week. Lululemon Athletica needs an educator for their locations at Keystone at the Crossing in Indianapolis and at Clay Terrace in Carmel. This is a part-time position. Hatchet Book Group in Lebanon is looking for shipping associates, replenishment associates, a night equipment operator, and there are other distribution opportunities as well. Carter Express in Anderson needs transportation specialists. The company says they have a flexible work schedule and offer benefits. Learn more about these job opportunities and dozens of other open positions by going to hiringhoosiers.com and looking at the job board. You can also check out the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Both of those resources also help you with the application process. The Amazon Greenfield Fulfillment Center is now open and the company is still hiring for that facility. Employees at the 615,000 square foot building receive inventory, pick and ship customer orders, and support network logistics. If you are interested in a job at Amazon in Greenfield, go to amazondelivers.jobs.
More people are going hungry during the pandemic, but one woman is trying to change that and bring food to where it's needed most, and how she's doing it and how you can help.
It wasn't pretty and it was not easy, but the Colts found a way to come back from a 3-touchdown deficit to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Brad Brown shows us how it went down and has reaction from the team.
I've got a temperature comeback. How about that? What goes up, and in this case way up, will come way down. All the ups and downs coming up.
1 in 7 Hoosiers are hungry and facing food insecurity, a need that has only grown during this pandemic.
But one woman has started a community effort dedicated to working together to curb hunger pains where food is needed most. WRTV's Troy Washington explains how Indy Community Pantry works.
Meet DeAndrea Rayner.
Since COVID started, I thought this would be a good idea for less contact with people that needed food.
She's the woman giving unused newspaper stands a new purpose.
I've seen like the empty newspaper stands around the city, and I was like, that'd be a great idea for food. So I reached out to people and they donated to them. I have local artists that paint them, and I just leave them in food.
And just like that, the Indy Community Pantry got its start.
The first one was, I want to say, in August, and now I have a total of 6 of them.
She's even put out a community fridge, but she explains she must follow requirements from the health department to operate it. Rayner says the other boxes are low maintenance and they make a major difference.
It just blew up. So now when I come fill them, like it'd be people sleep next to it, because they know that somebody's going to come and refill it and they want to be the first one there.
The pandemic made her realize the need.
It's so many homeless people, not even necessarily homeless, somebody that's short with, they can't afford to get food. They know that they can come to Empty Pantry and grab some food like that. Like I love being part of it. I love that people are reaching out to me and wanting to help. I just wanted to do something good for the people. I never thought that it would get to where it is now.
And she isn't done working yet, though it's getting easier to do the work knowing there are people ready to help.
People take their kids out to refill them. People call and ask for all the locations so they can refill them. I have people call, like, what days can I go help you refill this, or do you need anything? So it's just like an ongoing thing, like blessings and blessings.
Working for you downtown, Troy Washington, WRTV.
And find out how you can help out win this effort when you read this story on WRTV.com. We've also listed the locations for the community pantry. Kevin.
More rain. That's the story this evening. It's not far from Indianapolis, just to the west. That's why you've got the rising rain chances through at least midnight. Then I think the rain chance will diminish while you're sleeping, maybe still hanging around to the south and east of Indy first thing in the morning. All right, let's check out the radar. You can see southwest of Terre Haute and Sullivan, some yellow there representing a little heavier rainfall. All this moving east-northeast. I think any thunder and the heaviest rainfall will stay along and south of Interstate 64 in the southern portion of Indiana. This is just the first night. We'll see some rain tonight, and then I think tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. It was all rain for us. Check this out in Illinois. This is west of Rockford. The golf course covered earlier in the day by snow is starting to melt a little bit, but I doubt if anyone's ready to tee off. Colder air in northern Illinois presented the snow for them. And rain for us. No snow in our forecast. We're going to hit 80 on Thursday. How about that? 47 in Peru, 53 in Bloomington. Temperature in Indy right now at 50. One thing that will be consistent is the temperature. It won't change very much here over the next several hours with the cloud cover around. Timing of the rain continues through 9 and 11 o'clock, sliding to the northeast in the morning. Most likely spots for rain will be south of Interstate 70, but specifically, I would say south of a Bloomington to Columbus line. Temperatures the next 3 days, all eyes on the thermometer. Tomorrow we'll make our move. We warm up. That's really late in the day. Then on Wednesday, 72 for the high. The chance of rain should be early, then dry after that. Look at Thursday. Temperatures south of Indy may be as warm as 81. As you look at your planner tomorrow, hourly forecast, temperatures start to make their move late morning, then continue the trend to warm up as we get into the evening hours. Temperatures will be steady and in the upper 50s. Just about everybody enjoying temperatures that are a little warmer than what we've had today under the rain. This is tomorrow night on into the morning hours on Wednesday. And you can see the rain a little heavier once again to the south and east of Indianapolis. 7-day forecast temperatures, they steadily climb, peaking Thursday at 80 degrees in Indianapolis. Some rain, maybe some thunderstorms Friday night. As we flip the script, we go from 75 Friday to 56 for the high on the Saturday, and then on Sunday 60 with some more showers. It'll be melted, so I'm not going to hop in the car and chase down that snow in northern Illinois, but I'm ready to see it, but we'll give it a month.
It'll come to you. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. The Colts are still savoring that big comeback win, and they'll get an extra week to enjoy it before some big games coming up next month. Purdue's football team is getting ready for its first game of the season. They'll play without their head coach on the sidelines. Brad Brown now with the very latest on that.
Practice will continue at Purdue this week, but Jeff Brom will be spending the next several days away from his team. The head coach confirming on Monday he has tested positive for COVID-19.
It's unfortunate, and it's not ideal timing, but that's the way that the world works today. And I think that our team is in great position right now to move forward.
The Big Ten started daily testing of coaches and players on September 30th. 0 positives among Purdue's student athletes. The coach is confident that his guys can take care of business while he watches from somewhere else.
We've had a lot of good work up to this point, a lot of good practices, and I think our team is ready to play. And I applaud our coaching staff for the work they've done as well to get our guys ready, and we'll continue to proceed forward.
Purdue opens at home against Iowa on Saturday. 21 points down, no big deal.
What I love about this team is, nobody panicked. Everybody, stayed on track. Nobody was pointing fingers. Everybody was looking at themselves and how they can do better. And, it was all across the board.
It's the kind of comeback that could really turn the season in an entirely different direction for the Colts.
I wasn't feeling any panic from anyone. Over 17 years, you've been down 21-0 before, and sometimes it doesn't go good after that. Sometimes it does.
After pretty much not showing up for the entire first quarter Sunday, the Colts rattled together 3 very impressive quarters after that. Phillip Rivers threw for 235 yards in the second quarter alone. That was more than he had in 3 of the previous 4 games.
The guys, we just said, let's play. We got 3 quarters, and we spotted them 21. So what? What are we going to do? Let's go. So that was kind of the mindset. And then we got kind of hot in that second quarter, and coming in at halftime the way we did. The unbelievable catch by Zach.
We're all NFL players. We got to – it's not going to be perfect every time, and a lot of times it is perfect with Phillip and where he puts it. And you got to make plays. You got to catch the ball. That's our job.
The defense got dominated early. Then they turned that narrative around. Kept the Bengals out of the end zone in the second half. And once again, it was a late takeaway by rookie Julian Blackmon to close it out.
Definitely had a feeling that he was going to go back to the slot. All game that they were gashing us for some good yardage, just trying to get him comfortable in the offense. So, they were giving him easier throws. We fixed it in the second half and, made the play on the last play of the game.
It seems like every win has come with a new player emerging for a breakout performance. Week 6 saw Marcus Johnson catch 5 passes for 108 yards. His 57-yard reception in the first half brought the offense its first spark.
When you're comfortable with a playbook, it's not hard to get in that groove. So for me, it was just the work ethic. Whether I was dealing with injuries and had to rehab to get back or whatever, staying in tune with the playbook. And whatever I needed to do so when that opportunity came, I was ready.
The schedule has done the Colts some favors in this first part of the season. These first 3 home wins have come against 3 of the league's worst teams. That script gets flipped when we go to November. The likes of the Ravens, the Titans, and the Packers, 3 of the league's very best teams, will be coming here. The Colts will get back at action after the bye with a game at Detroit. Brad Brown.